If you would like to know how I achieved this 1950s vintage inspired makeup look, then keep watching. Hello, AFMUA. This is Mira from Mira's Artistry, and this is my tax force submission on AFMUA. We were asked to create a vintage makeup look between the eras of 1920s to 1960s, and I picked the 1950s. The 1950s makeup era was such an interesting era for me, and I'll show you why. For this look, after cleansing her face, I went over to moisturize her face properly. Then I used the hydrating primer. Those days, they used to have this velvety finish, so I didn't want her face looking so matte. Then I used a cream blush. This tax is so interesting to me because while doing my research, I found out that they had tips, they had guide, they had tutorials, they had guidebooks on how to do makeup. Like I didn't know that. If you ask me prior to this tax, how did they do their makeup in the 50s? I would say they just did it anyhow. But that's not true. Like they were so particular about their makeup. They had tips, they had tricks on how to apply makeup. And I'll be sharing some of those tips and tricks with you. I noticed that the blends of steps in their makeup with their hands, I saw them blending their cream blush with their hands, but I can't try that because this is a competition and I'm not comfortable with that. I don't know how it's going to affect my skin work, so I had to skip that. But I'll be sharing other tips and tricks that I incorporated into this look. First trick is with the eyebrows. Literally just draw strokes from the beginning to the end of their eyebrows and they narrow it down as they go towards the tail of their eyebrows. If you ask me, people still do feathered brows to these days, just that it's more precise and upgraded version. So I think that's just an upgraded step in makeup. The second trick is with the eyeshadow. They don't do so much with their eyeshadow this era. Like when I checked it, I didn't see anything, serious with their eyeshadow looks. They went nude. I think they were more particular about their liners. So I'm drawing my eyeliner now with a shade of brown. Like I mixed the black and the brown. And according to them, they said never to use black liner. They should always use a shade of brown because black tends to age them. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And also, their liners then were like slanting towards like the outer corner of their eyes. So that's just what I did. Another makeup step I followed from that era was to use a white liner on the waterline. Unless I forget, for the foundation, they usually go in with a thick foundation, but they blend everything out. For the lips, this was the era where they did red lippies, and the era before this era, their red lippies were quite dull, but for this era, they went brighter. So when they want to apply a brighter red, they usually blot out the first shade before going in with a brighter red, and that's what I did in this video. Next, I'm applying this white shimmery eyeshadow on her eyelids, and this was the only step I was comfortable using my hands, just like the 1950s makeup artist. Next, I go over with my blush, and this part was so satisfying seeing the makeup come together. But something happened, like I forgot to apply contact lens. So at this point, I realized I didn't apply contact lens, so we had to go back and apply the lens. I went over with my highlighter, did my bottom mascara. After that, I did a mole on her face. You see the mole in the next clip. That dot on her face, yes, that's what they call a mole in the 1950s. It was a 1950s makeup trend. And also for the lashes, they usually use half lash, and that's what I did. And this is my finished look for the 1950s vintage makeup era. How did I do? Wow, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that I was able to challenge myself to come to this. I hope I was able to impress the judges. Thank you so much, AFMA, for challenging us. Thank you so much for all the mentorship. Thank you for the constructive criticisms. I've grown so much as a makeup artist and I've learned to challenge myself thanks to our amazing coaches and judges. So thank you, AFMA. I'm going to leave you to enjoy the rest of the video. Bye.